What's up, everybody? My name is MrHurriicane, and today we're going to be recapping the first off-season in the Kalispell Warhawks Dynasty. This is the stream from last Tuesday. It's on my channel if you wish to watch the 2.5-hour version. It is linked down below, but I'll be recapping the stream right here and right now. So as we know, in year one, it was a tough year as we went 2-10, but we did have some players who showed some promise, and we know this team should be better going into year two with so much youth and all the developing they're going to do, along with our first recruiting class. So when the off-season begins, first I had to see if anybody wanted to leave the team. I first looked at coaching to see all the changes in the Mountain West Conference. There were some head coaching changes, and then I saw that Evan Newton got fired. Our offensive coordinator was fired. It wasn't me, I didn't do it. But we have a new offensive coordinator in Brian Lindgren, and at first I was kind of distraught because, one, Newton was fired unexpectedly. We had a brand new coach. I was hoping to keep developing Newton. We'll come back to this situation in a little bit. We had one player transfer away from Kalispell, Landon Bray, cornerback. The rest were just the 11 seniors who graduated from the team. So 12 players no longer on the roster. Bray was kind of a slower cornerback. He wasn't very skilled in coverage yet. Not very good in press, a little undersized. He's now going to Louisiana Tech. And none of our players who graduated were drafted. That isn't a surprise, and we'll wait and see who ends up being the first player drafted from Kalispell. Now, looking at job security for Leon Daniels, it's now down to a 74, and the target wins this year is 5. One thing that will help us is that our offensive coordinator now, Brian Lindgren, has a lot of unlockables already for us that can help our offense immediately. We only scored 18 points a game. These boosts here are going to really help our running backs, our pass blocking, our quarterbacks. So all around, it's a great move for our offense in taking a step up in Season 2. From here, we go on to recruiting. I had 6 players already committed, so I wanted to get at least 6 more committed so that we wouldn't have any walk-ons. My focuses were going to be on James Watson and Donnie Castillo. I had to prioritize which linebacker I wanted to focus on because I wasn't sure if I could get both. So I chose Watson because of his versatility. He can do a little rushing the passer, stopping the run, and cover. Then there's Donnie Castillo, 6'7", 265 tight end. He would give us a big body red zone presence that we don't have yet. And I viewed him as a player who would help us right away. So already I put 65% of our points into those 2 players. From there, I wanted to look at least 4 other players and put points into them. I wanted to get some speed on offense, so 500 points into CJ Gibbs, 500 into kicker Adam Carter, another 500 into tailback Josh Small, and then Damian Whitmore, big defensive end. We have a big lead, just put a few more points into him. Same deal here with Marcus Bowser, like 250 should be plenty with a lead of over 3,000. I was looking at these players' ratings as well, and looking at Will Stevenson again, I really liked his skill set. Like 89 speed, mid-70s coverage, decent size. So he became basically my 3rd favorite player left, and from here I did a lot of adjusting to the points. It's always tough to balance out the points because these players can be pretty unpredictable at times. That's why it's best to try and finish as many of these recruiting battles as you can during the season. I ended up dialing back on the points for Donnie Castillo to put more in James Watson, as I anticipated a recruiting battle from Colorado. Then Will Stevenson, I wasn't sure what to expect, but I wanted to get more points into him, so I dialed back from Clarence Ostrander. And after a lot of tweaks to the points and going back and forth, we eventually move on to signing day, and here are the results. Marcus Bowser, whom we had a 3,200 point lead for, ended up committing to Michigan with a near 6,500 point swing, as Michigan was super aggressive for the in-state tackle who was actually a bust, like a -5. We get commits from Damian Whitmore and cornerback Chris Smith. CJ Gibbs goes to Rutgers. Will Stevenson ends up choosing Iowa, and we weren't that far away from getting a commit. That one stung. I didn't put enough points into him, and I definitely regret doing so. Josh Fry goes to USC, Clarence Ostrander to Texas A&M, but we land Donnie Castillo and James Watson. And there wasn't any sort of recruiting battle from Colorado, so that was kind of a missed opportunity, but one that you can only take advantage of when looking at it from hindsight. These are very unpredictable at times. But we landed two of my favorite prospects and ended up with the 101st ranked recruiting class. Not quite top 100, but better than 25 other teams. Nobody was higher than a 3-star, and we ended up having 6 walk-ons, so I got 10 out of the 12 players that I was hoping to get to fill up the roster. We finished better than a lot of teams that surprised me, like Missouri, who's kind of fallen off the map there in the SEC. We also finished better than Oregon State. We finished better than a couple teams in our conference, including Air Force. And overall, I'd say this was a decent recruiting class for us. We did get some impact players, especially when you include quarterback J.R. Battle, whom we had an in-season commit from. We didn't get everything I was looking for, as we still don't have a lot of speed on the team, so that's a priority heading into Season 2. The only position change on the team was moving David Warren to fullback, where I wanted him to be originally. And from here we move on to training results. One of my favorite parts of the offseason, seeing how much better all of our returning players got. We have our first 80 overall in Calvin Rowe. Our highest non-specialist is TJ Garner at free safety. So first up, we take a look at the quarterbacks. They all go +1 throw power, +3 accuracy. Both were kind of a problem for us in year 1. At running back, nice boost here across the board, including +6 to Albert Green and Eddie Benson. But I'm looking at Sammy Hawthorne being our lead back in his junior season. Wide receiver was a bit more disappointing, as the bigger boost went to players who didn't have a big impact last year. That could open up a chance for some competition as we work out the depth chart for Season 2. At tight end, Everett Whitfield goes up to a 70 overall, but with the commit of Donnie Castillo, I was looking at him being tight end 1 in his true freshman season. I was very happy with the way our offensive line progressed, getting +4 pass blocking for Antoine Coe, who had a really tough time last year. We return all 5 offensive line starters, which means all 5 are better. And we have the new offensive coordinator, giving them an even further boost. With an improved offensive line and this new offensive coordinator, it's going to open up our offense. The question is, how much will it open it up? Are we still going to struggle because of the difference in talent level, even within our conference? When you include these training results, quarterback J.R. Battle, Donnie Castillo, and the new offensive coordinator, I thought the offense took a nice step forward in this offseason. Going to defense, hoping to see some good news in terms of getting more pass rush and creating more havoc. I think Lorenzo Easley needs to play a lot more this year, although he plays behind one of our best defensive linemen in Brock Schultz. He might get some more reps at right defensive end, and I would like to develop more of a rotation this year and keep our starters fresh while getting other bench players into the mix. At defensive tackle, some good boosts here across the board. This year, I think that Blake Barrett is going to be more of a pass rusher off the bench because he didn't hold up very well against the run last year. So he's going to be more of a backup, and we'll move Glenn Ellis into the starting rotation. At linebacker, this is where things are still a little bit confusing because there are players with different strengths. And I'll probably use a lot of formation subs this year to get different players in different packages so they can be used in the best way. We do know Marcus Calhoun is going to be an every down player for us. He is the face of our defense, but at outside linebacker, that's where it's kind of wide open for whoever can make plays and get most of the snaps. In the secondary, Cam Davenport, our fastest player, now at 90 speed with 81 man coverage. 4 interceptions last year. He is the leader of the secondary, while TJ Garner gets a very nice +6 boost. And I think he could be in line for a very nice season. Now at strong safety, we saw the biggest overall jump I've ever seen in training results. And this is me seeing it during the stream, that reaction. +8 to Corey Archer. He may not be as highly rated yet as Otis Frazier, but I took notice of this, and he got some more reps in the practice, which you're going to see toward the end of this video. So from here, it's time to cut the roster down to 70. There were 4 players to cut. We start at fullback, and I couldn't cut Nate Reed because we have to have 2. So I go to right outside linebacker and cut Devon Fenner. Chat wasn't happy with that one. Then go and cut Micah Kelly at cornerback. Only 2 more to go. We go to safety. Corey Stewart from Canada did not have very good ratings. He was cut. And our final cut was at strong safety. Carl Jordan just did not have the coverage skills nor the speed. That takes us all the way to the preseason as we set the schedule and got to see some of these players in action. Here is the Season 2 schedule as we open up on the road for 2 weeks. We go play Idaho in their dome, and this year's Pac-12 opponent is going to be Oregon State. We played Washington in year 1, we'll play him again next year. Following those 2 road games, we head home for 3 straight against Louisiana Monroe in the Warhawk Bowl. Then we play Tulane and begin Mountain West play against San Jose State. And the schedule looks familiar to last season with a couple different teams in there like Air Force. Now for the red shirts. I redshirted the 2 quarterbacks we had committed, including J.R. Battle, mostly because he's a pocket passer and we don't have good offensive line play yet. Maybe next year he gets that chance. I also redshirted Corey Miller and Justin McClellan and Bruce Franklin. Basically, every offensive player besides Donnie Castillo ended up getting redshirted. On defense, we redshirt the big defensive end Damian Whitmore, defensive tackle Julian Davis. At linebacker, I'm going to redshirt Quentin Dunn this season because I think he could use the development, and now we have some more competition at linebacker, including from James Watson, true freshman. Scott Green gets redshirted, and that takes us to the depth chart. It's going to look mostly the same. Marquise Walker at quarterback, Sammy Hawthorne at running back. At receiver, Rashawn Brooks, Tyler Adams, Troy Evans, but watch out for Sonny Archer and Kendall Caldwell. At tight end, Donnie Castillo will start right away as a true freshman, 6'7", 265, with pretty good acceleration. I'm very excited about him and what he could bring to this offense. The offensive line is the same 5 starters, only better with a new offensive coordinator. I really want to see a lot of improvement from the O-line this year. On defense, we do have a change at defensive tackle as Glenn Ellis will be the starter and Blake Barrett goes to the bench. How about this? True freshman James Watson is going to be a day 1 starter. He's a utility linebacker. I think he can join Marcus Calhoun in the nickel package, and I want to see him play right away. In the secondary, our new nickelback is Antone Slater, redshirt freshman, kind of undersized, but aggressive and a good tackler. At safety, it's still TJ Garner and Otis Frazier. We'll see what happens with Corey Archer. And at returner, we're going to see Troy Evans and Sonny Archer. We'll see which one can take that job. We also did some accessory editing and whatnot during the stream. I still have more to do with this, but do know that Donnie Castillo's number is actually 85 and James Watson will indeed wear number 6. So the rest of the video is going to be practice highlights from the stream. We're going to go through these plays very quickly, not doing play-by-play, but just talking about the team heading into year 2 and what I want to see. For the first time, as Marquise Walker overthrows somebody, look at his arm strength getting stronger. But for the first time now that a season is under our belt, we finally have expectations. And that expectation is going to be improvement. In year 1, I talked a lot about being aggressive, and whatever we were going to do, we were going to be very aggressive about it. Check out this throw by J.R. Battle. He may be redshirted this year, but I had to see what he could do. This here might be a better throw than any that Bradley or Walker made last season. That is impressive. But back to what I was talking about. What is the theme now going into year 2? As I said during the stream, it's going to be raising the bar. Looking at our results from year 1 and improving upon them. We're going to climb the ladder. There is a lot of work to do, and we all knew that from the very beginning, and I embrace the challenge that goes along with that. So when we talk about raising the bar, we're talking about raising our win total from 2 to hopefully at least 5. That is the target goal given to Leon Daniels this year in terms of his job security. That's Corey Archer there playing strong safety, by the way, 38. Did a pretty nice job on a lot of these plays. We also want to improve upon 18 points a game. I like to get more into the mid-20s and have a chance to be more competitive in a lot of these games. We have to improve upon our turnover differential, as we were like -18 or something last year. Ridiculous. We can't turn the football over like we did in year 1, especially if we're not getting takeaways on the other end. Defensively, I believe we allowed around 37 points a game last year and did not force many turnovers. We have to do better in both departments. So if those are the definitions of raising the bar, how do we do it in year 2? Nice job there by Otis Frazier. Starting with the offense, I think Donnie Castillo is one of the most important players this season, especially inside the 20, helping us get more red zone touchdowns. This is what I want to see from Donnie Castillo. He's going to be bigger than almost everybody he's up against. And now we actually have a physical advantage in the red zone. That's why he's playing as a true freshman. This also means the quarterback play has to be better, so that we can take advantage of opportunities here in the red zone and have more red zone trips. Castillo looked excellent in this practice. He had a couple drops that could be a bit of a concern, but he also has the chance to make plays that nobody else on this team has shown they can make. Another important player this year is Sammy Hawthorne. Maybe not on halfback passes, but perhaps sometimes. Sammy Hawthorne proved to be our best running back last year. He's going to start this time around, and we're going to get him a lot more involved in the passing game as we did late last season. Man, Castillo really impressed me in this practice. A lot of fantastic red zone catches. And Sammy Hawthorne, I don't know how he does it, staying on his feet. Chester Dudley diving for the end zone. It got so out of control here that the chat was asking for Hawthorne to get some reps just at quarterback. And he did later in the stream. I want the running game to be a bigger part of the offense this year because I don't think we're equipped to throw it 30 times a game. That's difficult for a team that trails a lot because a lot of teams have to throw in order to make their comebacks. By the way, Marcus Calhoun welcoming Donnie Castillo to the team as he does a helicopter here. Remember, he's 6'7", 265. And Calhoun also had to take out another linebacker in the process. Castillo, though, also has like 71 trucking, which means that he's also a run-after-the-catch threat if he can break some tackles. This is Brett Mitchell getting some quarterback reps and making some nice throws, and Donnie Castillo keeps making plays. He was the player I really wanted to highlight, and after seeing some of the great plays he made, I just wanted to see how many more he could do. Look at this, now Sammy Hawthorne's in there actually playing quarterback. Otis Frazier doing a nice job. Defensively, it's pretty basic what I want to do as far as improving this year. Get more pressure and do a better job stopping the run. Check out the lateral to finish it off as Caldwell flips it out to Donnie Castillo, and practice was complete. So that is the offseason, the first one in the Kalispell Warhawks Dynasty. I know we're still waiting to see the recruiting board. The reason you haven't yet is because I'm working with Blackjack on something very cool for this season. And I'm expecting this first recruiting video is going to be its own standalone episode because we have some special things in store. And I want to take enough time to go in depth about who is on our board and what we're going to be trying to achieve with year 2 recruiting. So we're almost to season 2. I'm going to post the highlight top plays video of year 1. I don't expect it to be as long as most of these that I've made, but we'll see how many highlights there are to gather. There were some good moments from year 1, and I like capturing all those in one video. And then from there, we're going to Idaho to take on the Vandals. So that's going to do it for today, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the off-season. Let me know down below what you thought of it. Who is your favorite player heading into year 2, or your favorite new player on the team? Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, leave your feedback in the comment section, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all next time. Have a great day. Go Warhawks.